Hello everyone and welcome. This is Jean with Kept in Stitches, and I am doing this video today because I was scheduled to do a live stream this morning, and for some reason we were having issues with the Wi-Fi. So since I had everything set up to stitch the Flying Geese units together for the borders on Over the River and Through the Woods, I decided I would do a short video showing you some of that instead, so I can still share with you some of the stitching on that and the process. But before I get to that, I do also want to share with those of you that are doing the embroidery stitch of the week, because you know on Fridays I do share the stitch of the week. So I'm going to share that with you also. And this week's stitch is the circular roads stitch. And if you are following along in your handy embroidery stitch guide, it is on pages 14 and 15 in your handbook. This is a little bit different stitch, I have to admit. In doing it, it is not one that I think I will be using very often in any of the embroidery stitching that I do. Just not one of my favorites. Not real pleased with the design of it, I guess is what I will say. But it may have its place in things, but I decided it needed a little something to it after I made it. I have a smaller circle down here that I'm going to do another one, but I added a little button in the middle, so for a little decorative touch. But that is the circular roads stitch, and that is our embroidery stitch of the week. So I'm going to get that out of my way. And now those of you that aren't familiar, this is the Over the River and Through the Woods, and today I am stitching, actually doing the top border is what I am working on right now, but I have them all ready to quilt so that my borders will be ready for that once I'm finished with all the embroidery on those three very long, very large panels that go in the middle. I do have all of these completed as well, but am waiting to add on to those until I have the 3 panels of embroidery stitching done. So I did lay these all out on my bed last night so that I knew where they join on the sides, on the top and the bottom and the sides. I wasn't going to be having any of the same Flying Geese units touch. So I have that all done. I do have a little bit done from what I was doing in the live this morning before I realized we were having Wi-Fi issues, and I decided to end that live. So I am going to stitch some of those now. And for those of you that are not aware and have not heard me before on how to stitch your Flying Geese unit so you don't lose that point on the top, on the back, the stitching isn't great to show you on the back of that one. Let's see if it's better on this one. We don't want to get it out of order. But there's an X where your stitching comes together on the top of all those. You always want to stitch with that part of the unit on top when you are sewing them right sides together, which on top, I mean the one that you are seeing on top as you stitch it through your sewing machine, because it is very important where that X in the stitching meets. You want to be stitching, have your scant 1/4 inch set up on your machine, so that when you come to that X in that stitching, you are stitching just a thread or 2 above where that X is. And that way you will not cut off any of your points when you are stitching. And these ends, because they have that seam right on the end, have a tendency to get caught in your machine. So you may want to use a leader end or do some crumb blocks, whatever it is that your preference is. And of course, my needle has come unthreaded. So we will get that threaded back real quickly. Always when you're doing a live or a video is when something decides not to cooperate. There we go. Put this back in there because I'm going to stitch on that a little bit first so that I don't have a problem starting out on my block. And I do not pin these. Do whatever is most comfortable for yourself in your stitching. So as I come to where that X is that I mentioned, I do slow down so that I make sure that I am going just above that so that I do not lose the point of my flying geese. And I also, get scissors here, will be pressing all the units the same way, and I don't want to press towards that point. So I will be pressing this one on top so that we are pressing away from that point, and that will make your seam lie better. Going to get a lot to lift up as we go along with that, because the border is going to get quite long, but that is the best method. And I want to show you by doing that, see how you do not lose your points if you stitch in the way that I just explained for you to stitch those together. And I'll do a few more. Just so that we can see how this is done. I use my fingers for my pins, so once I had that first initial stitching in there and I know nothing's going to move, I can line everything up, hold my fingers on a short piece like this, and not have to worry about anything moving. And I was doing some crumb blocks when I was doing this on the live video, but since this is not live, we will not do that. I will possibly do that in a different video. But again, still showing you how you don't lose your point when you're doing that. So that is how you sew the Flying Geese units for your borders together on those of you that are stitching along with me and on Over the River and Through the Woods, which I will leave the information for that pattern for those of you that may be new and haven't seen that. If you are interested in that, I will leave the information for that pattern in the description box below. But as you can see, I have, these are all the ones for my bottom row, all in order, ready to go there. And on the way that the two side ones are stitched, two of the blocks on that are turned the other way, but after you stitch the rest and you stitch those together so that the corners go nicely around as you do that. So that is on there, and this is marked right side, so I know those are the right side and that they are all going the right direction. And then this is the left side, and I have those all ready to show. And what I was talking about, when you do these side borders, you see this looks like this was one whole strip from here to here with those. Well, these two Flying Geese units are actually on the side. So you sew this together and then you sew those two and they will fit onto that bottom one. I need to do my nails. And that's what I was referring to. So on both of these, and the other one, it's at the top that those two are actually part of this side one. So that is how those are assembled. So if you have any questions on that, any comments, please leave them in the comments section of this video, and I will get back with you and answer any of those to the best of my knowledge. And if I, it is something that I can answer for you, I most certainly will. But I hope that this helps in those of you that were looking forward to seeing that during my live this morning. Hopefully I will get the issues with my Wi-Fi straightened out so that I don't have a problem in my future lives. But for today, thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. It truly does help. Have a great day, everyone. I will see you again soon on Sunday for my week in review. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, and remember, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye, everyone.